Okay, let's see if I can help you out here. One thing up here is that I think you're supposed to delete this row. So I'm going to delete it. And then when they talk about your formulas where they go, the cell references should make more sense. So you've done your sums down here, and you've correctly done these functions down here. This, I believe, needs to be a formula that's going to look like this. Equals, we're going to divide their net sales by the total sales. And we're going to divide everybody's net sales by the total sales. So this cell, B15, is going to use absolute cell reference. So we use our function for key as a shortcut key to enter in the dollar signs. If your function keys have a major job, then you might have to use the FN key to make it work as a function key at the bottom of your keyboard. And I'm going to click on the check mark to make that stick. So let's do this. We're going to come over here, and I think the textbook tells you to select these and use the copy and paste. And that's one way to copy and paste formulas. But let's just do one column at a time. So you correctly have the function in here. No, you don't. So this function needs to be using absolute cell reference, because if I copy this down now, like this, we can see we get all these errors or some crazy numbers going on here. When we copied it down, this first function, B8 multiplied by B5, so B8 by B5. And we want to multiply B9 by B5, but let's see what happens. When we click here, we see that we multiplied B9 by B6, because Excel uses relative cell reference, and it's always going to go down or over depending on which way we're copying. So in order to make it stick and always come, whoops, and we're not using this, you need to use a sum function. To make it come down to B15, you're going to use absolute cell reference for that cell. So I'm going to click up here again, and I'm going to come up to the formula bar and put my cursor in between the B and the 5 and use my F4 key to add the dollar signs for absolute cell reference, and click on the check mark and copy this down. I'm going to sidestep for a second. I see that you did this big long function, and this is just a mistake waiting to happen. Please don't ever do this. So we're just going to use a simple sum function here. You can click up on the auto sum in the editing group at the end of the home ribbon. It grabs what we want. You can click on the check mark or hit enter however you want to make it stay. Okay. And D8 to D14. Perfect. For the net sales, we're just subtracting B8 from C8, and then when we go down, we'll subtract B9 from C9 and B10 from C10. So this formula is just using relative cell reference. It's going to go down, and that's what Excel does for the default. We don't need to do anything special. We can just click and drag down our numbers here. Again, to figure out our percent, we want to divide all these numbers by this number over here in B15. So we're going to use absolute cell reference for B15, and then we can copy it down. This time I'll double click, and there you have that. For this last part, I think you need to cut and paste this information over here, and really you can just bring your mouse to any edge until it looks like 4 arrows with the main selecting arrow in the middle, and click, and you can just drag it over to where it needs to be. And then I think it tells you to do an auto fit, so I'm going to come up in between the D and E column, and my cursor looks like a straight line with 2 arrows on the side, and I'm going to double click right here to do the auto fit and open it up a little bit.